I feel as though this whole like body language techniques, postures, and whatever else is a bit of a scam in some ways. I think to some level, an awareness of how we carry ourselves and the impression that that gives plays a role. But truthfully, I feel like it's a bit of a scam. It's a bit of like a tactic and a hack, and it's like a bit too try hard. Um, Something that I know to be true is that the body, our posture, the way we carry ourselves, our animation or lack of animation is being influenced by the feelings on the emotional level that we possess, by the beliefs we hold about ourselves. The body and the way we animate it is an expression of what we're holding inside. So if we are feeling a bit anxious, we're going to feel a bit stiff and rigid. Our face will feel tense, tight, and we'll be trying to do that. Hey, everybody, I'm the public speaker. But that's just scamming ourselves. It's the whole fake it till you make it type thing. My belief is that we need to deepen our awareness of what's actually happening internally. What beliefs are we holding? What's our current worldview of this environment, this situation? Dissolving the old conditioning. And more than anything, through letting go and surrendering that place of must get it perfect, must get it right, we can loosen up a bit. We can loosen up a bit. You don't need the perfect presentation with all the moves and everything. What you need to do, my friend, is just loosen up. Now, yes, just loosen up in and of itself. It's pointing in the direction of what needs to be done, but it's not really giving you the how to do it. How the heck do I loosen up, Lewis, when every time I get on camera or I go to post a video, I'm feeling locked up, I'm feeling stiff, I can't really speak my mind with people? Well, the first thing we want to establish is an awareness of what is the internal experience in this moment of rigidity, or this moment where you feel as though you're not able to express yourself the way that you want to. We want to look at the current conditioning, the internal conditioning. What am I thinking to myself? I know patterns of mine in the past. How am I coming across? It was like I was holding a mirror up to myself whilst having a conversation. Who am I? Who am I? How am I coming across? Is this okay? Is this okay? What are they thinking? What if they don't like me? I've got these thoughts and narratives playing. And often what we do is we go, oh crap, and we try and push it away. We try and fight against it. But what we want to do is put an end to the fight. The fight is the struggle we're in with ourself, with deeper, more vulnerable, more sensitive parts of ourselves that we're judging as bad or not good. And we want to bring that in. We want to embrace that part of us through compassion and care. It's in the compassion and the care that we disarm the battle. We disarm the conflict. And through that, like any relationship, through that compassion, we can begin to empathize. We can begin to gather insight and understanding. All healthy relationships possess compassion, care for the other, the ability to listen, the willingness to understand their point of view, to hear them out. Sometimes there's nothing we need to say, but simply hear them. There's times when I've been working with clients over the years, sometimes I just sit and I listen to what's pouring out of them. And in many cases, that is enough. That is enough to bring, oh, it's not so bad after all. But beyond this, so that we can really change this, yes, the understanding can alleviate the pressure. Sometimes we need to go further than just understanding. We need to perceive the true nature of this and where it's actually coming from. Because on the surface, the rigidity is appearing to be sabotaging. Oh, I'm my own worst enemy. I hate myself for doing this, for behaving in this way. We hate the behavior, but the behavior on a deeper level is being put into action through a desire and an intention. What's the desire here? The desire is always positive. The desire in that moment of rigidity might be safety, a need for safety. I don't feel safe, so I'm bracing myself. I'm ready for an attack. I'm ready for a piercing judgment to come into myself. So with compassion, we want to sit with ourselves. We want to embrace these deeper parts of us, not battling with them, not shoving them in a corner, but bringing them in close. This is what brings the sense of wholeness. This is what brings the sense of wholeness. I can appear confident. I can be confident, but I can only be confident to the extent I have embraced all my sensitivities, my fear of your judgment, my fear of you disowning me, my fear of people not liking me. And in my embrace of that, my understanding of that, my acceptance of that, which is the ultimate next step, the acceptance. Again, further level of disarming. I can accept this. I can accept the sensitivity in me. I am sensitive, but that's a gift. That's a gift that brings deeper levels of empathy and compassion, allows me to actually do my job rather than just up here in the analytical mind. Oh yes, just hold yourself like this and just speak like this and work on your tonality. These are all little refinements and whatever, but the truth is all we need to do is begin to actually accept ourselves, embrace ourselves, unapologetically be ourselves, and in that unapologetic presence, the body loosens up. The body loosens up. We can express ourselves. We can dance. We can sing. We don't need to be the best singer in the room, because I'm certainly not. But this becomes a possibility for us, where at one point we may have been shying away from it, judging ourselves. Oh, I won't do a good job. If I don't do a good job, they're going to not like me and judge me, and then I'll get cast out the village with pitchforks. Doesn't need to be that way, to the extent that we own and embrace all of these parts of us, bringing unity, bringing wholeness, bringing a deeper level of groundedness. Because when you think about it, say the greatest, I always like to use the example of comedians. When a comedian is on the stage, and they come in all shapes and sizes, all demographics and backgrounds, they're not always the best spoken. They can be quite crude, quite abrupt. Sometimes they're in touch with the crowd. Sometimes they're out of touch with the crowd. They can be disrespectful. They can be high and mighty and arrogant, whatever they are. But every now and then they get a heckler. Now, we're all sat in the audience. We're watching this happening, this comedian expressing themselves. Often we're the ones laughing out of a sense of like shock and like, oh my goodness, like he just or she just tapped on the thing I've been suppressing. The embarrassing moment that I didn't want anyone to know about, that I thought I was all alone with. This one has had it. This one has been there. This one has done it. And I think that's always a remarkable healing power of the comedians. They speak the unspoken, and they're willing to go to those depths of vulnerability. Sometimes the depths of vulnerability that could really get them judged critically. But how do they do it with such a great sense of what some might say confidence? Why are we shaking during our presentation and these people are rocking up, half hungover from the night before, chilling? We might say, well, it's because they don't care. Partly. But when we look at the word confidence, confidence, to confide in someone is to trust someone. So self-confidence is self-trust, to trust ourselves. How do we trust ourselves? Through embracing ourselves, through coming to know ourselves. The comedian can go to such depths and has such a wide range and spectrum of expression and ways of being. They're very dynamic typically. Even when the heckler comes in, they embrace it. They embrace the judgment and they spin it into something. It's a remarkable skill, but it's a natural skill that comes through deeper levels of self-acceptance. They're not trying to pretend to be the goody two shoes or the absolute must be liked character or the perfectionist. They've sort of looked at that and went, that's not actually who I am. Well, this is who I am. And in that deeper embrace and acceptance, they're actually able to share it unapologetically, for better or for worse. You know, for better or for worse, but they also accept that possible consequence too. So the trust emerges. The trust emerges. They get the affirmation from the crowd or the rejection from the crowd. They take that risk on that day, time and time again, but they've become well adapted and well accepting of the possible consequences. The clinging to being accepted and the fear of being rejected as a polarity that causes so many people stress, like an elastic band, that's just dispersed. That no longer is it's no longer a source of threat and stress. The polarity collapses in on itself to the extent that we can embrace even one of these. It takes two to tango. So if we let go of that need to be accepted, we will notice our fear of being rejected subside as well. Equally, if we accept the reality that we can be rejected just as we reject others all the time as well, then this clinging to being accepted begins to neutralize also. So that's something to think about for today, my dear friend. It's been a pleasure sharing this with you. Again, this is a new channel. Yes, I have my own things I want to share, but I actually want to start a relationship with you so that we can grow together. I truthfully want a sense of community around me, of heart-centered leaders, people that actually want to step forward and speak, whether it's sharing their gifts, their knowledge, their expertise, their services. It's time for us to step into the light as a people and create something even more remarkable. Truthfully, I believe we're capable of much more than we allow ourselves to be, which is why I'm making this video, which is why I'm here with this channel speaking to you right now, because I know that if I'm capable of more, you are most certainly capable of more. This is a universal experience, and we're here to rise together to build one another up. Gone are the days of the pecking order and competing. You know, as fun as that might be, there's a new opportunity here, and it's collaboration, it's tribe, it's unity. In that unity, we can create a new way of being, a much more impactful, much more wholesome, much more fulfilling way of being. We go from being robotic and trying to fit in with the mask wearing and beeping and whatever else to actually stepping forward. And this brings us further as we release the masks we've been wearing. This allows us to connect deeper. This is intimacy. Intimacy in its essence, the willingness to be vulnerable and the trust to be vulnerable. Intimacy, where we can relate on those depths of sensitivity as human beings, of honesty as human beings, instead of hiding behind the Instagram reel. Ta-da, this is my mirage of perfection. Let's reclaim ourselves. And in being ourselves, we can naturally show up and live the life that we truly want instead of the life we think we should want. Do you hear me there? Instead of trying to live the life that we think we should want, it's time for us to reclaim ourselves and live the life that we're meant to. That deep in our heart brings a natural sense of ease, of fulfillment, of confidence through integrity. No longer overreaching, no longer abandoning ourselves in the process, reclaiming ourselves in the process, because this is the missing piece of the puzzle. And every great leader of the past knew this. They claimed ownership over their position in the world and their vision for the future, and boom, they locked in. They locked in and they had the courage to share it with the world. Now it's your turn. This is our opportunity. Because the truth is, in moments of crisis, humans, when they're lost, when they're scared, when they're helpless, when they're confused, they look for clarity. They look for a leader, someone to help them. Someone to come in and go, in that striking confidence, that presence, say, hey, there is a way. Follow me. But they can only defer to that leadership to the extent that the leader is certain and clear and makes sense, congruent, aligned. And this is what we're here to do on this channel as a team, and in the future as a community. I want each of us around the table shining as leaders, worthy leaders who are ready, born for what they were made for, to rise up and take the centered stage.